recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at ZEDGamesAU.
This is Z Games. Tonight, I'm your host, Paul, and joining me are my fabulous friends, Ronnie.
Hello.
And Tom.
Hello. I see us more as pleasant acquaintances, but that's fine.
True. I do overstate our relationship. You know, I'm just trying to impress people.
Are we friends, Tom?
We'll see. We'll see how the show goes.
Okay.
And what a show we have for you tonight. A lot of throwbacks going on tonight. But before we throw back, let's look to the present and perhaps the future and listen to a little bit of news.
It's another week in gaming news, and Microsoft has announced that later this month, July 2024, Xbox subscribers will be able to access a wide range of games through their Fire TV sticks without the need for an Xbox console. You do need one of the newer Fire Stick models, a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, and a Bluetooth controller, but that's all likely to come in cheaper than an actual console, so get ready to get crazy. At the 2023 Game Awards, Sega teased reboots for several of its classic titles like Jet Set Radio, Streets of Rage, and Crazy Taxi. A recruitment video for the Crazy Taxi reboot features the current team, including Kenji Kano, the director of the original Crazy Taxi game, sharing details about the project. They shared that they aim to preserve the gameplay of the original games, navigating a city at breakneck speeds, but also to adapt it for modern audiences. So what does the modern audience want? Well, large-scale, open-world, massively multiplayer gameplay, of course. It's a significant shift for a title that originated in arcades, but it might be what the team needs to make it the AAA hit they're aiming for. There's currently no release date for Crazy Taxi, or any of the other reboots, so we're in for a wait to find out. Life is Strange Double Exposure, developed by Deck 9, will be released in October 2024. In it, we can expect the return of Max Caulfield, the protagonist from the very first Life is Strange game, which was developed by Don't Nod. Don't Nod, which is no longer involved in the Life is Strange series, is currently working on Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Lost Records Bloom and Rage was set to be released in Q3 2024, but has now been postponed until early 2025. A statement on Twitter revealed that this decision was made to avoid competition between the two games. We know you're all excited for both Lost Records and the new Life is Strange game, and we wanted to ensure that both have adequate space to shine. The wait will be worth it. By far, this week's saddest news is that the release of Frostpunk 2 has been delayed from July 25th until September 20th. This announcement came after the game's recent beta, where several notable issues were brought to light. 11-Bit Studios says they want time to fix those issues and add several additional features before the game's release. We want to ensure Frostpunk 2 meets the high expectations of our fans and provides a seamless and engaging experience. They also promised that until release, they would be providing behind-the-scenes updates to show how things are progressing. And we have some upcoming game releases. Zenless Zone Zero will be released for PC, PS5, iOS, and Android on July 4th. July 5th gives us Cyber Citizen Shockman Zero on PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. July 11th will see the release of Once Human and The Crush House, both on PC. Finally, Angerfoot will be released for PC on July 10th. That's all this week in gaming news. Back to you in the studio.
And we are back. Thank you, Melee. Thank you for that little at the end. That really set the tone. What exciting things. Angerfoot is coming out this week.
Yeah.
I got to say, I've been playing Angerfoot, and I haven't checked the release, so I can't talk about it. Anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, how are you playing it? It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
We get magical powers
privilege
here, sometimes.
Yes, it's, money's a bit tight at the moment, so it's really good to get into media. It really is going to save you money on hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't pay you, but they sometimes give you free things.
No. Back in the day when World of Tanks was first sort of launching in Australia, they literally flew us places.
Oh,
What a
dream.
Someone that was on my old show we couldn't go, so they just flew her to somewhere in the Northern Territory to drive a tank.
I want to drive a tank.
I wish I was free for
Yeah,
that.
You know what? I have a friend who flies attack helicopters. I'm just gonna ask him to let me fly an attack helicopter.
Yeah. And then we'll find a game that you can review about attack helicopters later.
Oh, there's definitely a game.
Yeah, I'm sure.
100%.
But we'll,
some kind of flight
that's an afterthought.
simulator. It's fine.
I never really gave a lot of talk to World of Tanks, even though they flew me around a couple places. But I did always like to say, and I mainly liked it further on, to say, a world of thanks to World of Tanks. And I still think about that whenever I get a press email.
You're still thanking them to this day.
I don't have anything to throw at you. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't, because it's all like things that are breakable.
They make enough money. They don't need me. What else is going on? Well, Crush House is coming out. I played the demo for Crush House. I really want to like it, but I actually failed the demo. I do not know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh.
Do you know the concept? Because the
No.
concept's like it's a reality TV show with some undercurrent of something dark and mysterious going underneath. But you're on set and you have to go around and film it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
aren't you trying to also engineer like relationship moments to
kind of the audience wants certain things from you, so they might want drama or whatever,
so you need to frame things or instigate like fights or
I wasn't able to instigate
moments.
anything. I was just like choosing what to film, and I thought I was filming it and filming it well, actually, as someone with a history of being a professional camera operator. I thought I was like being at least kind of interesting. The game did not agree, and it got cancelled after one day, and everyone had to leave.
Well, this just in. Paul doesn't know how to film anything.
No, I don't. Well, I at least do not know how to film reality TV.
Yeah, maybe you need to watch more dating shows with farmers and spouses. And farmers and spouses at first
and
meetings.
Also, like,
Stable Boy wants a polyamorous throuple.
Oh yeah.
Good old Stable
I'm
Boys.
here for that.
Yep.
I'm over the Life is Strange. I was a big fan of Life is Strange. I loved it. I played it multiple times, and now I'm just done.
Look, I'm done, but I'm willing to come back if I hear things.
I will definitely come back. I think that's the problem, is that I'm done, but I know I'm going to give them my money.
But I feel like
Pokemon.
But I mean, like, there's other better options for narrative-based games now. Like, when it came out, it was like, that was a very, like, fresh thing. Telltale games were happening. All that sort of stuff was going on. But now, like, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. You could, if you want a good narrative game, there's other options.
Actually, if you want a good narrative game, just pick up a game that's related to a concept album. They're a good narrative game.
There are actually a lot of concept album games these days.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love them because it's also good music to play on the show.
It's also not my PhD thesis at all.
It's
not my entire life.
We'll do a
now.
special show on that at some point.
Oh my god, it's just going to be Radiohead.
Speaking of the Radiohead Amnesiac experience is amazing.
Yeah.
It is. That was in my top 10 of that year games.
I'm going to do a whole... Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about this later. You and me.
it.
But speaking of things that we used to love and we're just kind of over that might be coming back, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
No way you're over Crazy Taxi.
Look,
it's a really fun 20 minutes every time you boot up that game.
Yeah, but also I have the first two games. I mean, not everyone does have a Dreamcast in the first two, but I can get them other stuff.
I think I got the PS2 version of Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
I don't have access to Crazy Taxi, but I'm sure I have access to
You
Crazy
have access
Taxi.
to us.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy that they're doing something weird with it. Hopefully it is weird and not boring. I might hate it. We'll find out.
Because if it was just
different.
a new Crazy Taxi with a different map, it would be it would be fun, but it would be the same thing that you have with regular Crazy Taxi, where it's like, that's 20 minutes of fun, that's half an hour of fun. You want to have other things to do.
I want at least 2 hours of fun.
And I've heard comparisons to like Forza. That's the sort of like structure they're apparently looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's a good
It
thing.
should be fun then, but we'll see.
Yeah.
As long as I can drive someone to Pizza Hut or Pizza or any other chain
or Taco
corporation,
Bell. Pizza Hut or Taco Bell.
Pizza Hut or
as
Taco
Demolition Man
Bell,
taught us.
combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, then we're good.
But really, there's only one thing that really matters about Crazy Taxi, and that is, of course...
weekly dose of science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here's the second one.
Well played.
Shut up.
Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favourite podcasting app. That's spelled KNOW, like no idea. It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
This is Zed Games. I'm your host, Paul, and joining me, Tom and Rani.
Yes.
Howdy.
But now we're going to do one of my favourite things, and that is a review. I am a clown, and I give you my hand. The coffee you seek is not in here, but where the children cry. See, I couldn't do a rap on that one, because I'm going to review Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. This has been a bit of a cult hit this year. It is by Simojo, who some people may know from Sayonara Wild Hearts and Device 6, and a few other games that skip my mind right now. But Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is a puzzle game.
Oh, puzzles.
Puzzle exploration game based in a old hotel. You arrive at the hotel, and it's sort of based in sort of quite old school sensibilities. You're driving around with tank controls. It's like Resident Evil, but there's no zombies. And you have to go and solve all the puzzles in this game. Now, this game, as I say, been a cult hit. Many people have called it perfect. One of the best games ever. I am here to question that. Not in to say it is a bad game, but it is certainly of a certain flavour, which I will now present to you.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Graphically, we're looking at heavy polygonal, something akin to like a Killer 7.
You just try to find ways to bring Polly into the show today.
No.
Let's
Just trying to bring back Killer 7.
Just bring back Killer 7. Yeah.
It's that heavy
Polygons.
cell shading kind of look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Flat color, cell shaded. It's a very attractive game.
It is.
Really nice environment, and it's also a bit broken up. It certainly is aware of it being an artifice. It's also, you can see that they kind of want to get a Lynchian vibe. I wouldn't say they do, but they're going for this surrealist, not knowing what's real, what's going on sort of thing. And there's coffee.
Okay.
So
There's coffee.
yes. There's
Okay.
coffee in the game. And it is... The coffee actually kind of brings me to my major point. They are dog-headedly addicted to a very, very strict convention of gameplay. And that is one button. You have direction and one button.
Interact.
If you're not near something to interact with, that button will open up your menu, which gives you access to all of your memories, because everything in the game that's relevant will get logged in your memories. And it is at least broken up into categories, but as the game goes on, those categories get very long. So everything's that one button. So one of the things, as I reached about the 10th hour of the game, was, gosh, I'm sick of walking everywhere. And then I finally unlocked the coffee machines.
Okay.
You have a drink of coffee, you run. But only lasts a couple of minutes.
But it took you 10 hours to get to it?
Yeah, you can get it much earlier.
Can you?
Yes, but there's no guidance of how to get to the coffee machine. The game isn't interested in guiding you. What you will do is, especially at the beginning, you will collect a lot of material. You will walk through this hotel and you will find a lot of doors, all with locks on, that you have no idea how to open or not. So quite early on, you also get a bunch of books, things that like about Roman numerals or the zodiac or all this base information that you'll need for basic puzzle solving, including one book which is just a list of puzzles, because you'll find shortcuts throughout the world, and to open those shortcuts you have to answer the relevant puzzle on that page. And every time you want to look at that book, you have to open up the book and flick through the pages to the page you need.
Yeah, and you access that book through your memories, which you use the one button for.
It's all one button, which also means no back button, which means when you want to go back, you have to scroll back up to the close button. While this is like, it's all intentional because it's partly stopping you from brute forcing, so everything's a bit slower. It's an intentional pace, but as the game gets longer, you do start even when you collect items, they just appear in the order that you pick them up. So you can't like put all of your keys together or put all of these together.
So then you have to scroll through and you have to be like, when did I pick up this key?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yep.
It must have been around coffee number 3 and my brain's gone out the window.
Thankfully, the actual puzzles in it are really solid.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing that has blown my mind. But as far as like a puzzle solving game goes, this is still really good. I'm just putting out there that perhaps you should go in with the idea that this game is uncompromising in the way it wants you to play it.
Yep.
And there are no hints. There is actually a character you can call and ask for a hint. He will never give you one. He'll just say, "Oh yes, look to your heart." Go, "Oh, does that mean I'm supposed to look for a heart?" No, it's just a random line that gets put out there. There is no guidance in this game at all, which means
I don't like that.
It means that when you get a big breakthrough, because often when you get into a new space, you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not just like one thing. So there's lots of paths. I've talked to many people that where I am now in the game at the pretty much where I did end game, that wasn't everyone's end game. Like the ending is everyone's end game, but what I was doing before that, they did like halfway through the game because they just went a different path. So it's very open, good solid puzzles, but yeah, it is that dog-headed just... Oh, one button.
You're gonna play it the way I want you to play.
Give me a back button. Give me a button that opens up the last book I had open to the page I was looking at.
Yeah, bookmarks exist.
Yeah.
But being able to say, hey, it's just one button, man. That's all it is, just one button. That's way more impressive than saying, hey, it's just 2 buttons. It's like,
look,
yeah,
every
I know.
interface has more than one button. I'm cool with buttons. They're sweet.
I love a good button.
And I love pushing buttons.
I like a button. I love a trigger, a second joystick. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Twin stick, that's good.
Yeah, it's
you know what's a good controller? Most modern controllers.
Yeah. Most controllers are fine anyway. I love the Intellivision controller. So it's good. It actually is also very conscious of it being a game and reflects that at certain points. Obviously, I don't want to go into spoilers of the content, but it does have a lot of variety to the puzzles, from just basic math puzzles, symbol orientation, geometric stuff. But yeah, it's a wild story about crossing over a lot of art. So it's a lot of discussion of like installation art, film, photography, things like that, perception of reality. You know, you could get maybe... It doesn't feel pretentious to me. It just feels like it's having fun with it.
It
There's lots of
doesn't
bits.
feel pretentious to Paul, but Paul is known for playing pretentious
I
things.
am known as a very pretentious person, but I think I'm fun about it.
You are fun about it.
I'm fun. Anyway, so Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, it's available on PC and Nintendo Switch.
Ooh. What did you play it on?
I played it on PC.
And what would you recommend?
It doesn't matter because it
one button.
It runs easily and it's one button.
What was the one button on the PC?
Oh, any button on the controller.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you can push any button and it counts as the one button. Yeah,
We're living in the future.
So I can just
So it's not one button.
You
So
can
I
just
can
any
button
button.
mash and it actually does what I want it to do.
Yeah, as long as it's drink a cup of coffee.
Open a book.
Yeah,
Flip through pages.
Looks great, sounds great, good puzzles. Just maybe they could have made some compromises to modern game sensibilities.
No, we don't like
And
compromises
lose artistic
here, Paul.
integrity? No way.
But no way! The moon. Anyway, yeah, it wants to be weirder than it is, but it's good. Anyway, speaking of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, pew 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 pew.
Yeah, actually, no, you never explained how the laser eyes come into it.
Okay, it's actually quite. It's lots of
Spoilers.
things. Laser
Okay.
eyes. If you want a very like vague overlay, it's like your main character has very good attention to detail.
Okay.
It's going to get weirder from there.
Okay.
But that's not what
Just like Monk?
No, you got to get into some numerology before you understand what the laser eyes are.
Hi guys, my name is Ellie. I'm from Howdy Game Studio based here in Brisbane. We're currently working on a game called Welcome to Hell, which is an infernal engine builder. Essentially, you have a little imp workforce and you have to torture them and put them through a lot of suffering to get a lot of soul, which is what you need to win the game. We're currently working on it. It's definitely in development at the moment. And yeah, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Howdy Game Studio and join us for the ride.
This is Ed Games. I am Paul, and joining me is Ronnie, and of course Tom, the beautiful Tom, the
Howdy.
handsome Tom.
Yep.
He's got so many great...
I have other values as well, but
He's pretty
that's
cool.
fine. Like,
Yeah. What sort of values do you have?
Like good, wholesome.
20% off.
Yeah, yeah, great values. 2 for 1.
He's here to do a review about a game that you maybe have heard of.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I love when you do that.
Yeah, it's a good game. I like it. That's the review. We're done.
Sweet, good game. He likes it.
Yeah, that's it. There's a game out there and I like it, and it is called Crow Country. A lot of you may have heard of Crow Country. I'm not too timely with this review. It came out a month or two ago. Crow Country is a very retro-inspired survival horror game developed by SFB Games. You might have heard of SFB Games because of their mystery detective game Tangle Tower, with its sequel coming out very soon, or the excellent Nintendo Switch puzzle game Snipperclips.
I'm scared.
Snipperclips. Great launch title for the
awesome
Switch.
Game.
Really good time. But Crow Country is the team's first venture into the survival horror genre, and the game has clearly been designed to be a welcoming introduction to any players new to survival horror. I found it. It is a short game. It's about 6 hours long, possibly longer if you're new to that sort of game.
Or you're me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're easily spooked.
But actually, if you are quite new to survival horror, they've got a lot of things that I found would be the accessibility options that I enjoy. So first of all, there's 3 difficulties for the game. First one is exploration mode. So enemies do not attack you. They exist and they will hurt you on contact, but they don't attack you. So if you get panicked, but you still want to enjoy exploring an abandoned theme park, that's the section for you. Number 2 is survival horror, and that's their standard medium, which I personally found it to be a little easy.
But you are a big, strong man.
I'm a big, strong Resident Evil fan. I love me some Resident Evil and some Silent Hill, and this game's definitely inspired by that. They've got some old PS1 aesthetic polygon characters that I actually think kind of look a little bit like if the overworld version of Final Fantasy VII characters were blown up a bit and made a bit bigger. That's what they'd look like with a bit more detail. But the characters are fun. So essentially, you're playing as Mara, who is been assigned to go find Mr. Crow, the owner of the now defunct theme park called Crow Country. The theme park has been shut down for 2 years after following some controversy. And you arrive there with your purple hair and your handgun, ready to find Mr. Crow. And there's a few mysteries in place. Most of all is, where is he? What is he doing? Second of all is...
who is his daddy? What does he do?
Yeah.
And the gun is necessary for protection.
Yeah, because there are lots of strange creatures that will come after you. The monsters in the game I actually think are very well designed. There's some good variance in how they look. And I actually think when you get to the end of the game and you find the origin of the monsters and the meaning behind them and why they are there in this abandoned theme park, I actually find is very satisfying. It's a cool idea, some solid sci-fi concepts in there. So you spend the game venturing around this abandoned theme park, going through the different zones, through the fairy tale land or the haunted woods area, and even under the sea section. And solving puzzles very similar to your Resident Evil, like, hey, this door needs a key, but this key is hiding in this other room, and you can find notes from theme park workers who are saying, hey, the crank that we need to run this machine, I used it at this place and hid it over here.
Of course. Now we've got keys to open doors, but do we have any gems to open doors?
Oh, yes, there is absolutely a gem that you find.
I was worried.
But you use the gem to operate a mechanism, and then that leads to a fun little mini game. But yeah, there are some light-hearted moments in the game. A few good jokes here and there. A few subverted expectations. But overall, it's a spooky game. And
so even with like the chibi sort of art style to it, you still thought it had some sort of effective horror sensibilities?
Yes. Even with the chibi art style, they treat the monsters as threats, and the monsters are presented as scary. One thing I really liked is the game has an inbuilt hint system that you can use that will point you in the right direction. for those who are averse to, like, just looking up a guide online, because that can lead to very obvious spoilers. But I found that I didn't get stuck. I am used to those kinds of games before, though. But if you are new to survival horror and you're like, yeah, I'm kind of looking for something spooky, I want to run around monsters, I want to manage my resources, absolutely, this is a great game to get into.
And you've played through it multiple times now.
I have now. I finished it once on the medium difficulty. I got an A+ ranking on my first run. And I finished a second run afterwards on the hard difficulty. And if you are used to Resident Evil games and that sort of thing, this is where you want to go. You want to go straight to the hard mode. It's not frustratingly hard. The game's still quite fair. But if that's the kind of thing that you're into, if you're into like old school Resident Evil and Silent Hill and stuff, and you want more of that, that's what you want. You want challenging experiences. You want to be running around with only a few bullets left in your gun, using a bullet to stun an enemy rather than kill it, so you can get past it. Yeah, I can't understate how much I think this is an accessible horror game for people new to the genre. On the medium difficulty, there are actually regenerating ammo deposits and stuff like that. And you arrive in your car at the start of the game, and if you're playing on medium, you will have an ammo box in the back of your car that will always
refill you?
It gives you one full clip every time. But even if you're stuck without ammo, like if you panic in a boss fight, every single one of the boss fights, except for the final one, has an option to solve a puzzle to escape rather than defeat the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I actually only found this out because when I was playing through it, I got a trophy after I killed a boss that was, you've defeated all 4 optional sub-bosses. And I was like, really? They're optional? But then upon looking back on it, it's like, yeah, actually, every step of the way, you could have found a way to avoid them. You didn't actually have to fight
friends.
them. I don't know if you can make friends with them, but you can make non-fatal enemies.
You can make friends with them if you're Paul.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. I think it's a perfect Halloween game. I'm sure it'll go on sale around then. Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed Crow Country. The only issue I have with it is that it's quite short. I finished it in 6 hours, and I just wanted more, honestly. I think it could use... I was very satisfied by the story, but yeah, I want more areas. I was explaining to Paul earlier, it feels like the first 30% of a big-scale Resident Evil game.
Yep.
Where, for example, Resident Evil 4, you start off the first section, the village, second section, the island, the castle. Third section, the island. And then those are roughly a third of the game each. This feels like the first section and a bit of a Resident Evil game.
Okay.
So I would love to see SFB games continue the series. They've said that they are kind of happy with how it came out and the response, but they're looking to try other new things. But maybe the success of the game will sway them towards checking this out more, because I could do with some more.
Do it a little bit more.
More Crow Country, please.
Yeah, eat some crow.
Yeah. Caw.
Crows croak. Yeah. That's a bit more like it.
So before I go off with my 4 sub-bosses to make a pentuple...
Fortitude Valley's Netherworld presents Lost Souls Karaoke. Sing for your soul in one of 5 private air-conditioned karaoke realms newly unearthed within the bar, arcade, and diner. Book a room and put your soul on the line from Tuesday to Sunday via lostsoulskaraoke.com. Netherworld and Lost Souls Karaoke are proud sponsors of 4ZZZ.
This is Ed Games. I'm Paul. Join me, Ronnie and Tom.
Hello.
Howdy.
How's it going this evening?
It's good.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
That's pretty solid.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Honestly, I've
That's better than
much
half.
worse. Yeah.
Hey,
sweet.
It's fine for now.
It's fine for now.
That's what my wife said. Anyway. We're going back in time and we're falling through a book. This book, it has magical words inside it, but you can find them when you turn the pages because it's in a bag. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this. Hi.
Hello.
This is a third review for the evening. We are going to talk about 1997's hottest game, Riven, the sequel to Myst.
1997.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't born yet. I
Fabulous.
should just show myself out.
So, Rani, have you heard of one of the most famous games of all time, Myst?
Yes.
Yes. So we've all seen the island with all the weird things on it, and
Yes.
originally just kind of a bunch of slideshows you'd click between, and then they kept remaking Myst. We had our real Myst and all our new Myst, and then a few years ago,
I feel like there's a Myst DS as well.
I think so.
I think there is actually. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They remade Myst from the ground up, including VR support.
Yes, they did do that.
And it did make it kind of perfect. So now they said, well, now that we perfected the first game, it's about time we remade the second game, which is actually higher regarded than the first game when it comes to gameplay wise. It was more mature. They had, better ideas of what they were doing. So now they have launched this on flat screen and VR. If you buy it on PC, you can play it on PC VR or just flat screen and switch between them.
What if I don't have a flat screen? What if I have an old monitor that's like deeper than my entire desk?
Oh, like a big like a big CRT. Well, that still counts as flat screen.
Does it?
Yeah.
The screen is not flat.
Yeah, you bet.
It's curved in the opposite way.
You can.
What about a concave
Look,
screen?
sometimes the curve just makes it better. But okay, so Riven is here, and I got it on the MetaQuest. I got sent code by the publisher.
Yeah.
And I loaded it up, and first thing's bad impression.
Okay.
The initial load is like 5 minutes.
So were you sitting there with your headset on for 5 minutes?
Well, just sitting there
I took the headset off because it was taking a while, but I forgot I've got it set to auto standby when I take it off my head, so it didn't load. I eventually got the game to load.
Rookie error.
And I went, wow, this is awesome. It starts just with a cutscene with what was originally an FMV character, and now they've done the model. And even on the Quest, I was like, this is pretty good animation and acting. This is solid. And then the world loaded, and again I went, wow. And I start walking around, and it immediately becomes apparent why this game was so originally well designed, that the world is so physical, so that because most puzzles are just integrated in the world and they're there for a purpose and there's function, when you are there in real space, you just get it easier. The very first puzzle just involves rotating a 5-sided room, and you understand the geometry instantly. You just look at it and, oh, okay, here we go. So I kept playing along. And I got up to an early section where you're on a platform that you can rotate by spinning a little wheel. And as I got on there, I started spinning. And as I start spinning the wheel, the surrounds around me just dip to black. And then when I stop spinning it, it comes back. And I'm like, oh, I mean, this is cool, but it would have been nice if it actually spun.
Yeah.
And then I went, is this just a limitation? So back to the publisher I went and said, excuse me, poor little me, please send me a PC code as well. And they said, for you, Paul, pay me. So I grabbed the PC version, and I lit it up with PC VR, still using the Quest as my headset. And those wows that I initially did got doubled. Yeah. Everything is like, oh my God, and the load times are gone. It's great. But yeah, that room where you didn't get to see the rotation, that's all there. Everything's even more solid. It feels great. So both versions are good. But if you have a choice,
PC.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. It feels magical being in that environment because it's a very interesting, surrealist, but mechanical world. So everything just feels really fun to explore. The other thing they've done is they killed their darlings and they edited their game.
Oh,
they moved things around. They changed puzzles that they didn't think worked or could work better. And every single example that I encountered was better.
Fantastic.
They were not afraid to make changes where the game would improve from it. And especially since now, if you are playing it in VR, oh my gosh, one of the things I just love is there's lots of optical things in the game. So you'll just be, there'll be a lens on the side of a cliff and you just lean in with your eye. And you got to close one eye because it's just, and you're actually looking through it. And it's like, this feels cool.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't
that's
hate
really fun.
VR.
Look, I reckon hating VR it's a little bit like sound like a real jerk, but I do feel that people just need the right experience.
Well, it's mostly that it just pretty much every experience with VR I've had has made me quite ill.
You just haven't had good VR yet, you know.
I did play VR at the old share house with with the rest of the team.
What did you play?
What was it? I was playing Beat Saber.
Beat Saber made you sick. You might be.
I got a little bit.
You might be a rougher case, but
well, that's why they disabled the spinning room.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Otherwise,
true.
yeah, you would have been horribly sick.
Actually, maybe I should check the accessibility. Make sure that it wasn't just something turned on for comfort.
Yeah, it's very. It could be possible because I think that was my first thought when you described that. Is like.
Oh, they've turned it off so that you don't like.
They do have a lot of options for accessibility in there. Also, they have ability to take screenshots.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
For puzzle games.
Yeah,
that is really, really invaluable these days.
I'll just play it on my curved screen.
That gives you all the depth you need.
Yeah.
As long as we get a concave one, it'll be like you're really there. Beautiful. Okay, thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, Paul.
I get to reviews.
Good job.
And it's really good.
Yeah. They should have called it Riven.
Yeah, they definitely should have.
Yeah.
Or
Riven.
Well, that pretty much brings us up to the end of tonight's episode. I'm sorry to say.
How dare you?
What can I do?
Why would you do this to me?
I do it every time.
Why
I'll
would you
do it again.
to the listeners?
So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
We love you all.
Goodbye.
Play video games.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.